mute myself because I always forget. I need to put that in a better spot. Oh, I can't find it. Ah! There we go. We should be all up in this. Welcome to JK Games, the game podcast where we bring you the gaming news we care about.
And maybe some that we don't.
And whether you play on easy mode
or you like a good challenge. Yeah.
This is a show where we'll try to level up your gaming knowledge. Oh, yeah, gaming knowledge. Woo.
Hey. Incredible. We're
Thank
here.
you. Thank you. Thank you. We're here. We're live. We should be loud, proud, and ready to get in the crowd.
Hey.
And if you love that, you're in for a treat today. I'm Jerica, one of your hosts.
And I'm Kayla, your other host this evening.
Woo!
And if you liked that little, if you're watching live, you get a little treat. And if you're listening after the fact, go take a peek when you get time, because Jerica made this really cute starting soon screen where
it's going to evolve.
It's like
have some ideas with it. Yeah.
She's
so
in
you
her
can see us.
Creator era. Yeah.
I'm trying. It's like I told Kayla, I'm like, it's gonna be like we're at the zoo, and they're gonna be able to see the glass behind the glass, or like the kitchen, right? You can still see like what's going on back there. That was the idea. So
you see what's cooking.
We see what's cooking over here. Which you saw me leave and go pee. Look at that.
Surprise.
And then listeners, if you can't see it, but if you go back to Twitch or YouTube, you'll be able to see this cool little starting soon screen where you can see me and Kayla get ready for the show.
Yeah. Yeah. It was actually really cool. Jerica surprised me with it. I hadn't seen it. And it was 10 out of 10. Would recommend. High Score Weekly said it reminds me when you visit a radio station.
Yeah. You know, just
shout out to
see some stuff going on, so you know, like we're coming. I'm just always late. You can go and say I'm always late. I'm always running behind. So this way, at least it's like, hey, it's like my cheat. It's a cheat. It's my cheat code. So I guess like we're on time. You know.
Yeah, we got High Score Weekly, of course, in the chat. We got CC in the chat. We got Simba in the chat. Welcome.
Howdy, boys.
We got lots of folks hanging out for us this evening. So definitely thank you for jumping in. We have a lot to discuss. This is the month where all the games decided to come out. Jerica, I don't know about you, but I'm overwhelmed. What do you think?
Yeah, just a tad. Like, I'm already just so afraid for Avowed right now. And not in terms of it being, I hope it is successful, because I think it technically comes out tomorrow. But I don't want it to end up on my backlog of Doom, Kayla, because there's a chance that it might happen.
No,
we'll talk about it later.
Okay, yeah.
But to your point, there's just a lot of games coming, so everything's fighting for my time.
Speaking of time, thank you, P-Schwag in the chat, for spending some time with us, subscribing. We love to see it. JK Games more like I love y'all. Aww. And Game Over Cholo hanging out here with us as well. We appreciate it. But if you're new here, welcome. We're so glad to have you. We do go live on Monday evenings at 8:30 Central-ish, sometimes 8, where you can participate and hang out with us while we record the episode. If not, you can catch us on socials and all podcast platforms, JK Games Podcast, on the video on demand on YouTube, or listening on your favorite podcast platform, whatever you prefer to consume your content. You can do that as you wish. But it doesn't go without saying that we have some other ways that you can consume our content these days, Jerica.
What?
There's more of us. There's many more. Tell me more, they say. Why, you ask? Let me explain. Well, we can't. Let's load up first. Let's get our loadout ready. All right, we're loaded up. We're ready to go. We're going to discuss what all we've been a part of this past week and what we'll be a part of in the future. If you missed it, we launched a new show with some of our bestie friends. What? Oh my gosh. Who knew? Drop In, Drop Out pod you can find on all podcast platforms. You can go to dropindropoutpod and find the links to all of our lovely co-hosts. We have a slew of lovely gamers over there if you want to check us out. Last week, Jerica actually did a live reaction to the PlayStation State of Play with Maury and Patrick. And then they also did like a reflection after that. And that is up on Drop In, Drop Out as well. And you can also find it just through our socials. It's linked through, if you're following us somewhere else and you want to follow us there, it is linked wherever you go to Drop In, Drop Out, where there will be 7 of us every Thursday. Some variation of the 7 of us will be live and discussing the latest and greatest. The reviewing, Jake Twitchin might be reviewing the next Shrek game. You never know what he's going to be doing. But the goal is just to unite us as gamers and gamer friends to come together and have, maybe Jericho will be there, maybe I'll be there. This Thursday, just a little self promo, I'm hosting for the first time at Drop In, Drop Out. I know. I'm scared, but I would love nothing more than for, it's so funny because I'm nervous, but we do this every week.
You are pretty much the main host in this show, Kayla, so you'll be fine. If you can you're the only one that can keep up with the agenda. So you're gonna do fine.
That. Thank you.
You're gonna do fine.
Only because you're gonna be there. Jericho will also be there. So
I'll just be tooting around. You know, that seems to bring some people some calm to any stressful situation. My toots.
I love Jerica's tootin'. Her roll is buttered. I do want to know what your rating scale. Can you rate Avowed yet, or not? Not yet. Maybe later in the show.
Let me see
on the roll scale.
That's one thing I forgot to add to the scenes today. Damn it!
Oh,
I really want. No,
okay.
it might be pretty easy to add in. Hold on. So if you haven't seen, I have some rolls that have been.
You got rolls.
I got rolls. Let me tell you. Let's see if I get them pulled up if you want to keep going.
Yeah, High School Weekly gifted sub in the chat. Thank you for gifting to Simba.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Giving 25
I just messed
subs
up something already. My bad. Let me come back to that. Wrong button. Continue.
Wrong button. But yeah, definitely follow us over there. That's the latest thing that we've done. We will be on Thursday. I will be hosting, and a little surprise tease. I will be doing everyone that's joining's gaming horoscope, doing a little tarot reading. Not really, it's kind of fake, but you'll see it's just a little tease.
I bet it's real. You know, I don't know what you're doing in your spare time other than playing a few farm games. You could be like late night, someone's calling in and you're giving someone a reading,
I'm like one of those TikTok live people that's like, I sense that your grandmother is here with you.
Yeah,
that'll be me. Yep.
I would love to see that version of you. That'd be funny. Maybe we see it this week. I can't wait.
I have some surprises in store. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, so that you can check that out on Dido on Thursday. Probably 8 Central. Don't know yet. Maybe 7 Central, because we got some various time zones in there. But we'll post everywhere, so don't worry. But then also our last episode of JK Games, we did skip last week. Jerica and I went on a little co-host date where we went and saw Attack on Titan: The Last Stand in theaters. 10 out of 10.
They only had it out for one night, and it was a Monday night, which sucked. But
Meemaws were out on a school night.
We were, and I was like, damn it, it's on a Monday. We're gonna not be able to do the show, but it had to happen. And it was so worth it. I hope you thought it was worth it, Kayla. See one of your favorite shows on the big screen.
Yeah, Attack on Titan is one of my favorite shows of all time. I did convert Jerica and Audrey, Jerica's girlfriend, to love it, and they do love it, and we got to see it on the silver screen, if you will. Oh my gosh, P-Schwack said horoscope with a WH. I love it. But yeah, so that's a little bit of our back, our past week, our loadout, if you will, our housekeeping. But the way that we load out our show is our easy mode, where we talk about what we've been playing, what we've been doing, and Jerica might debut her roll buttered system that the French dip designed for her.
I'm working on it. It's coming in hot, but she's going to get it in. I had it on my Mac. I don't have it on the PC yet. So I'm having to go to Canva, download my things, and I'm almost there.
Hey, it's okay. But don't worry. After that, we have our normal mode where we will touch on our favorite things from the state of play. Again, if you want the whole rundown, check out drop in, drop out. But we will kind of touch on our highlights to kind of like pinpoint what we want are excited for. And then we got some news to cover. And then our expert mode is going to be going over the insane February schedule that has been taking up our lives with games. And then we're also going to look forward into the future. Speaking of horoscope, we're going to look forward into the future for what to expect from March and April. And just kind of take a look at what we're going to be playing, what you can expect to hear from us as we go throughout this year of banger video games. Speaking of, Jerica, are you ready to talk about what you've been playing?
I'm almost got the rolls ready. They're cooking. They're baked.
Oh.
Let me pull them in. Let me pull these rolls in. I don't know how it's gonna look like this on the stream because I haven't really like done. It's just a little video, so you might not be able to see us for a second. But
speaking of the king himself, French Dip Design is in our chat.
Thank
you for being here.
We're about to see these little rolls, these roly boys,
They're
I
so
can't say
cute.
That. Let's see.
I don't
loop.
think so.
I'm gonna loop it. Okay. And they're coming in. They're coming in hot here.
Mode.
Okay. Working on, don't come at me with this little slide in motion that the rolls are making because I made this in Canva. But yes, thank you, French Dip, for designing the dinner rolls. It's gonna be my personal review scale going forward. Just talking about like, how moist is my roll after playing that game? It's pretty simple. 5 being the most moist, and I love the imagery there with the last roll there. Just drenched and happy.
Yeah.
So
we love to see it. I can't wait for you to use this scale to describe what you've been playing in our easy mode. If you
I guess like
as Core Weekly said, did my sub money pay for these rolls?
Yeah, not gonna lie, they did.
Shout out to you guys.
For sure.
Incredible.
All right. But yeah. What have I been playing?
Take us away, Jerica.
That's what you asked me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Before I get to the main event, like, I'm going to be honest. I went back and played Destiny 2.
She's relapsed.
But I've only played that once or twice. Since then, I haven't touched it again. But the new dungeon dropped on Friday. And it was really unfortunate because the PlayStation Network was down.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And, Audrey plays on PlayStation, and so does our friend Chad. So that was a little bit of a hiccup that caused us to go late. I streamed that. It's on Twitch right now. You can go back to our Twitch channel and watch that stream. It's quite boring at times, but
nah.
Because you're watching a lot of us try to figure out, like, hey, how new dungeons are always exciting because you don't know anything and you're having to figure this out with your team. So just like I described it last episode, was just like how it happened. Us trying to figure out things, and it took us way too long. But back to the PlayStation Network stuff being down, Chad and Audrey played on Xbox, and I played on PC, which I was planning on doing anyways. So I can stream it a little easier. It's really hard to stream from the PlayStation. So, yeah, you can go back and watch that. It was a good time. Is it my favorite dungeon of all time? No, but I am really excited for the storyline that's tied to the dungeon because I still don't know. Like with most things, Destiny, I don't know really where this is going to go or why we're here.
Does anyone know?
We're technically in the pyramid of a enemy that died like 2 raids ago or 3. I think 3 raids ago.
Interesting.
So, but we're back in his house, like snooping around because someone else has went in his house snooping around, and there's like a vault inside the pyramid, and the baddies are trying to get in there and get whatever Rolk left in his pyramid. I think that's the gist of it.
That's a lot.
But Sabathoon's there, Kayla. That's why I'm really interested. Sabathoon's talking in riddles again, telling me I shouldn't be here. Things are happening with their siblings, which I thought they were dead. Who knows? For a second, I thought Sabathoon already died, but I was like, maybe she didn't. I thought I would remember that moment because I love Savathun. She's one of my favorite characters in Destiny. But
Yeah.
all right, yeah, enough Destiny chat. Dungeon was fun. I give it 3 rolls out of 5.
Oh.
Yeah, semi moist, but also
Semi-moist.
not wet enough. But
Yeah.
it's always a 5 out of 5 because of my my friends, the fun that you have with your
Aw.
friends.
That's fun.
And then the other,
Cognoclits
go ahead.
Step
Sorry.
on me, insect mommy.
Yeah, Savathun, tall witch queen. I forget what they're called. The hive goddess can step on me anytime. The other game I've been playing is something I think you've been playing.
What?
Do we want to save the Avowed talk for after anything else you've been playing? Do you want to just let that be like the last bit of what we've been playing is Avowed? Because I think we both have something to say there.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's tease it. Let's tease it.
Yeah, spoiler alert, we've been playing Avowed.
You would have thought me.
You would have thought. But yeah, other than Avowed, I think you've been playing something else that you mentioned it to me and I'm like, what? What is that? Tell me more.
Yes, I have. I have been playing that, but before I get to that, less exciting, but exciting to me. I also have been playing Civilization 7 that just came out
I
recently.
thought you were going to talk about the whole game. I'm sorry. You go back to Civ. I made it sound like I would normally not respond like that to Civ, the next Civ game. But I was thinking I was talking about the whole game, which we'll get to later, I'm sure. Tell me when you get to the whole game. But I'm listening. I'm interested in Civ because I haven't played that in a long time either. This is the new one.
I don't have a ton to say because it is very similar to the previous game, Civilization 6. I've been playing 7. It released on, I believe, February 11th, so very recently. I sink hours into these games just because it is like something that I love, like a turn-based strategy game. Like I'm not normally a turn-based combat girly, but I like turn-based like strategy, like real time, kind of like that aspect. And then essentially, if you're unfamiliar with the concept of Civilization games, you're picking like forget the name of the person, but like an iconic person in history. I picked Harriet Tubman. That was my pick.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm Miss Harriet. We love. But you can kind of pick which staple person that you're playing as, and it does affect your gameplay just from like the different aspects of the person, whether that be like things that they did. Like, for example, obviously Harriet Tubman, Underground Railroad, and she has like enhanced espionage abilities. So like if you're playing as her, you can sneakily do certain things to other players because it is a multiplayer game. Like
wild. What would you think about this?
I don't know.
Any of these historic figures?
I don't know.
Imagine that. Imagine being a historic figure, Kayla, coming back to life for like 10 seconds, and that's what you get to see as a game. And you don't even know what a game is, but that's wild.
It's also it's hyper realistic too. So imagine.
I probably would have a heart attack and then die again. That's probably what would happen to all these folks. Like, whoa.
Going back even further, there's like Benjamin Franklin is in here. Yeah. Yeah. So that's so funny. I've never thought about that, Jerica.
That's how my brain works, But
yeah, that is fun. I am enjoying it. And you can like play with your friends. So Jarek, I would love I don't know that this is necessarily your type of game. Have you ever played a Civ game?
I think I played the 2 games ago, so that's 5. I think I played 5 a little bit. I got really into it. Or actually, it could have been one that was older because I was playing it, I think, in college. So I'm incorrect. I think it was a little bit older than that.
Okay.
And I think I touched on the one that came out 2 years ago, so 5. But I didn't get into it as much. I really couldn't answer why. But
yeah,
I see the appeal. It's fun.
It's a specific type of game. Like it definitely is. Like I definitely see if you're a history nerd, like why this would be interesting. Because like it is, you see your civilization that you create. Like you do have like a almost kind of a city builder aspect because you're choosing like landmarks that go in certain places, but the landmarks that you choose have like different societal effects. Like if you're, because the goal is to win, to like be the like prevailing civilization, like you're the most successful in either one way or another. There's several different like ways you can win, which I find really interesting. But the games are super long, so like don't go into it expecting to like be in and out in like a certain amount of time. And to
Okay.
High Score Weekly's point in the chat, the soundtrack is amazing. Like
Ah,
it's epic. Like the music is like oh, oh, like it's like very like
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I
Angelic.
said I wasn't gonna talk that long about it, but I did. You know me. Let's talk about the whole game, shall we? Shall we talk about the whole game? You got
The
some
whole game.
mural, yeah,
Oh,
the whole game.
shit. And then I thought you said the whole the encompassing game. And I was like, are we talking about the whole game of Civ right now? God, it's one of those nights. Oh, the whole game.
The whole game of life. Let's discuss
Man, this is this is it. This is it, y'all. Yeah, so Kayla mentioned the whole game, and I'm like, and then she's like, it's a game about digging holes, and I'm like, or that's the name of it, and I'm like, what? And that is the title, a game about digging holes. And I'm like, is this all there is to know about this game, Kayla? What is going on?
Yeah, so I'm so glad that you asked, Jerica, because it is a game about digging a hole. And that's really it.
Is there any treasure? Do you make it any to another like location? What's the goal here? Is there a story? Yes. I've asked you 5 million questions. I'll stop now. Is there a story here to dig while you're digging a hole?
There is a story. Like essentially you buy this house, you're in this house in this neighborhood, and there's like mysteries surrounding this house. And High School Weekly's in the chat, he has played it. It does have an ending. Theoretically, you could beat this game in like 45 minutes, but I have played it for 6 hours.
But are you just digging a hole? Like what makes you want to play it for 6 hours?
Right. The loop is that essentially it's $5 also on Steam. I believe at this time you can only play it on Steam, but it's an indie dev by Cyberwave is the developer, who also is making Solar Punk. If you've seen that anywhere online, it's kind of like one that's trended as far as like indie games, not out yet. The goal is to dig a deep hole, and you are getting resources. The resources that you're getting, like different ores, like think Stardew Valley when you are mining in the caves, and you get like gold, silver, copper, that sort of thing. So you get the ores, and then you can sell them in your garage and make money that you can spend on upgrades. So like it is like a kind of like resource mining type game, and you're mining to upgrade your shovel. So like you start out with like a teeny tiny, you see like on the trailer, a little tiny hole that you're digging, and then you upgrade it to to be like a bigger shovel. And then you can also get lights. You can buy lights, and then you can buy, because you can go, Jerica, you can go really deep. Like it's very deep.
No pun intended. Oh, did you mean to do that? Did you mean to do it?
Yes. Well, sort of.
Okay. So audio listeners, if you're in your car also listening to this, I'm just watching a video with this little shovel just digging a hole. That is the game. You are digging a hole. And Kayla did give us some insight into like upgrading our shovel. There's lights, and I guess the goal is to listen. I'm not trying to make fun of it. I'm gonna download this week, and I'm gonna play it because
it's a resource collecting game. You're getting resources. You know, there's a secret. There is a mystery, but like that's really not what intrigues me about it. It tickles the part of my brain that's like my ADHD ass. Like it's like, oh, instant gratification. I'm digging, and then it's like bling, and there's like a resource. And then also like you can hurt yourself if you're not careful. You have to like maneuver. You can also get lost in the hole. Like you have to get back up because you only have a certain amount of battery on your shovel and like energy.
Scary.
You have to replenish your energy.
Stuck? How do you get out? Can someone save you?
You die and you lose all of the stuff you've collected
Oh,
and your
damn
money.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Okay. This
Yeah.
is cool. I'm down.
5 rolls.
The concept of it is incredible. Like, it's so simple. Like, I love a simple game that ends up being super complex. Like, that's always a thing that
It's
I
not
admire.
complex,
But
but
I mean, but it's deep. Here I go. It's deep. It goes deeper than you think. You know, they should have hired us for all the marketing. They might have already beat us to it. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna download a game about digging a hole.
Perfect. It came
You
out in
sold
February,
me.
so it's included in our February release roundup. It just came out.
God,
Support indie devs. Dig around a hole. Do you like that movie Holes with Shia LaBeouf?
see, I thought maybe this had some kind of connection to that and the sploosh. That's all I remember from that book. Sploosh.
Sploosh.
You remember that part?
I do, yeah.
I feel like I've done this on the show at some point. I feel like I've talked about this same thing.
Stanley Yelnats.
Don't remember him. But I remember Stanley... his sploosh, which sounds dirty now that I've said it. Anyways.
Anyways, Jerica, let's talk about the real game that we've been playing.
Hey, you know, you might be able to dig holes in Avowed. I don't know yet.
You might.
I don't know if you've dug any holes in Avowed yet.
I haven't.
Okay. It's still to be known. Like, will this be the best hole digging game of the year? This Avowed might also be it. We don't know yet. Regardless.
It's got a contender.
Avowed, where do we want to start? First impressions, because I'm about 5 hours in. I don't know how much have you played, Kayla?
I actually probably about the same, but I have been mindlessly roaming a decent amount of time. So that 5 hours is not necessarily directly correlated to story progression. I have been just messing around.
Same.
So, but I probably played.
What's new?
That actually is new for me though, because I don't know. I don't normally. It's giving me the energy. I know it's been referenced before of Skyrim-like qualities. That is the last game I have really like just walked around and just like looked at the scenery. Like this game invites you to explore. I feel like it really does. Like the environments, you can tell that there's like secrets around the corner if you look. And so like I'm enjoying just like looking at different like areas and getting the treasure and like picking up the different like resources. But yeah, overall I've probably spent, if you want to talk about like time wise, probably about 5 hours, which this game we're playing it in I guess the early access version. I don't really understand how that works. When does it actually launch?
I think it comes out tomorrow. But yeah, like it's on Game Pass. I paid the extra to get into it sooner. Just so I could start talking about it sooner. You know, and I know I told Kayla, I was like, man, Bloom and Rage comes out, you know, this episode will hopefully be up tomorrow or Thursday, but Bloom and Rage is out, you know? And are coming out tomorrow if you're live here with us. And I'm like, oh God, I gotta get caught up. I got to get into Avowed sooner rather than later. So I paid the $20 to get early access. But I think it's out for everyone tomorrow. So yeah.
Oh man. Mr. Hawks in the chat said, I'm 46 hours into Avowed since Friday.
You, sir, are amazing. I'm jealous, to be honest, because like I've been wanting to play it all day and I just can't get back to it. Not because I've just got other things going on, but I guess to get to my point here, I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did, you know, and we've been listening to like reviews and stuff and early impressions, and what they're saying sounds really cool. I think on one episode, I was like, I cannot wait to be an asshole. And I'm already doing that. As soon as I got into it, I was clicking the dialogue to be the asshole. Cause it's been a minute since I was been able to do that in a game. Mm-hmm. And I am just, and I really wasn't a big Skyrim player either. And I've been trying to
Oh, yeah.
sit on my thoughts with why am I disconnected with first person games like this? But I
Hmm.
play first person games and like I'm like, well, what's the difference with like this and Skyrim? And everyone listening is probably like, oh, this, that, that. Yeah. I'm like, and yeah, it's finally what I had to do myself. You know, I think first person shooters, I'm dialing into. But as soon as you give me a melee weapon, that's when I fall out of this feels janky. I don't like it.
Huh.
Ugh. I think that's the thing. I think it's third person melee is what turns me off from, you know,
Interesting.
I'll play it, but I'm not
First
in.
person melee? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to keep
No, it's
getting
okay.
it backwards.
It's
But
hard sometimes.
it is first person, third person. You know, when I see my fists like this, that's when I don't like the gameplay. Because it's really hard to make that
Somebody clip
feel
that,
good.
please.
It's hard to make that feel good. You know, when you're fisting, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying about Indiana Jones. There's a lot of fisting and whipping, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through that. I might have to watch somebody play it because I hear the story is amazing. But as soon as I started playing that, because I started it just to see what was going on and if I was going to really eat it up like a lot of people were, I immediately was like, I don't like it. It feels bad to me. And
Yeah.
I think it's just because I play a lot of Destiny, maybe just first person with a gun is a totally different experience for me. Because like playing Starfield, I didn't really have that feeling. And I play in first person, which I can't remember if you can swap back and forth. And obviously in Avowed, you can go to third person, which is
Can
funny
you?
because I feel like I tried that and I didn't like it. I didn't like it either.
Mm.
All that to say, my impressions of Avowed, I just wanted to put that out there. This is why I usually am turned off by these games when I'm watching gameplay. I'm enjoying the first person combat in this game. I'm enjoying it. It feels good. It
Oh,
does.
okay.
And I don't
Okay.
really know, like, because I'm using the axe a lot, but I keep going back to my wand. We'll get into it later because I think the unique thing with Avowed is you can play a lot of different ways with a lot of different weapons. They're not really
Yes.
limiting you to what you can have in your left hand or your right. I can
Right.
have a little stabby knife and have a magic wand or a magic book in my left. So I'm
Hmm.
stabbing or I'm casting spells, which is pretty unique. I don't think I've done that ever in any other game. Chad, if
Yeah,
you have, let me know because I think that's a unique gameplay mechanic for Avowed. And
I
I'm
think so too.
and I've really enjoyed like going back and forth and figuring out how I want to play. And I'm still going towards long distance, so whether it's the bow or my wand.
Hmm.
But I do have like my back because you can have like a backup like build. What's the word? You know what I'm talking about.
Uh, Loadout.
Loadout. Yeah, there we go. Backup loadout where you can quickly switch to. So I go between my axe and my shield, and then my wand. And I think I have like literally I have like a wand and a knife. I
Mm.
killed a bear that way. It was pretty dope. Uh, but yeah, that's sort of like my thoughts on it, just from the gameplay sense and why I was a little bit hesitant if I would enjoy it or not. But it's sort of proven me wrong, and it doesn't feel as jank as I thought it might feel.
Yeah. What did you choose as your backstory?
You asked me that, and I've already forgotten. Like I forgot the words, but whatever like the scout
Oh,
background
okay.
is, like good at scouting, pretty smart in the field. Like I feel like they've been in the military or like whatever they call it
Okay.
in this world. Like they got some experience out in the field. They're ready to go
Yeah,
into the wilds, so to speak.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, because if you're listening and you're unfamiliar, you get to kind of similarly to a lot of like fantasy RPG style, like open world type games like this. You get to choose like your backstory, and that does affect some of the choices that you get in the game. Which so far I do see like the way that when you have dialogue with NPCs or like interactable characters, it does give you options that look like they're exclusive to your either whatever you choose your aptitudes, because you do get like points towards different like attributes of yourself. And depending on how many points you have, you might could participate in a conversation differently than someone else, which I do like that. I chose the like mystic one, the like court Aguar, I think is the name. I
Wow,
forget. Yeah.
fancy.
I know, right? What did you think about the character creator? I really enjoyed the character creator. What were your thoughts?
So I sent you the picture of mine, and
Yes,
maybe we can. I think you shared them on socials or
on
something recently.
Instagram.
I don't know if you got mine or I can't. I remember I saw the tail end of that post.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious, but I was having a little bit of issue getting the HDR right because I started playing on the Xbox with in my living room so I could play on TV. And I
Yeah.
had the HDR on the game, and then I feel like I'm having this issue on PC too. Is like HDR is hard to get right. Like if you trust the slider, stuff might not look right. So
Hmm.
I set it according to what the HDR gamma like slider was telling me, and then when I got in the character creator, I couldn't go back, and I guess I could have exited, but I feel like there's a whole cutscene and stuff before, and I was too lazy. But my scene was so dark. So I was basically in the
Mine was
dark.
too.
I was in the
Mine
dark
was
making
dark.
my okay. So like the HDR slider or whatever, gamma, what that stuff is
Yeah.
not right. Something's off with it. Maybe they patch that soon. But it was like I was in the closet trying to make my character Kayla. So I didn't really see her that much. And then I saw her and I was like, oh my God, her eyes are so. And if I could just move one of my eyes, she's a little cockeyed. Nothing against it.
Aw.
But one of the eyes just look all, I don't know if that was a characteristic of the character I chose, but she sort of veers off with that right eye a little bit.
I
She's looking
totally
like
said not you in the closet.
there I was in the closet making my character. And I don't know, my character looks like she's seen some things. She looks real shocked, a little too shocked. And I'm sad I didn't get
Yeah.
to mess with like the godborn. Am I getting that right?
Godlike.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The godlike cordyceps reminds me of, I know everybody's gonna say The Last of Us, but it reminds me of like The Last of Us, like mushrooms
Yeah.
and like almost like coral, like a coral reef. And yeah, I didn't get to mess with that as much because I couldn't see.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to learn more about the mystery aspects of what's going on in the story. This is going to be a gamey game, Jerica. This is going to be a thick boy game.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be long, but I'm enjoying it. My overall how many rolls would you give it, Jerica, at this time? I know it's
My
hard.
first
It's tough.
impression of it, I can't leave. This one's hard because I'm in the middle of the road right now. Like I'm having really
Yeah.
fun. I can't. I don't want to give it one. I don't want to give it 4 out of 5 yet because I don't know how deep it goes. And am I just sort of like, uh, what do you call when you first start dating somebody? Honeymoon phase. Am I in the honeymoon phase with this game?
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering. Because that right now, I think where if you were just like after I was done playing, what would you? I would say at least 4 out of 5. But it might be realistically at a 3 right now based on what the amount of game I've played. But
Yeah.
I'm really optimistic. I'm excited. So I think it's deeper than I think, hopefully. And to your point from earlier, like the world it does invite you to explore. I just don't know when does that get boring.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's every house I find, am I going to get a little storyline or a note or a piece of treasure that really impacts my experience and makes it worth my time exploring the world. Yeah, that was a long explanation, but I'm sitting at a 3 out of 5 moist meter on the rolls. Like we can feel the butter coming and maybe there's like a thin layer there, but we gotta let it cook a little bit longer or let that haven't really figured out my verbiage yet with the roll meter.
That's okay. We'll
let the
there.
butter sit on the roll.
Let the butter sit.
Let it get hot.
I would agree. I am having a good time. I actually really like the combat, which is weird for me because that's not normally like my jam with games. But no, I'm having fun. I really like using the wand and the spell book. I'm a long distance battle girly, so. But yeah, that's our kind of like first impressions of Avowed. We've been playing it for a little bit. Let us know if you play it. somebody said earlier, hold on, let me go back. Simba said first half of Bloom and Rage comes out tomorrow, or if you're listening either yesterday or previously. And then the second half comes out in April. Jarek and I plan on doing a little review. So we'll let you know next week. We'll definitely have thoughts on Bloom and Rage to the extent of which we don't know. We'll let you know when we know. But that kind of wraps up our easy mode. I know that was kind of a hefty easy mode, but I feel like it makes sense for our entire episode being around February releases. And look at us playing new releases. Who would have thought?
We're in the business of playing and talking about games, it feels like. Kayla, look at us. We're doing it.
We're doing it. But speaking of in the industry, there is some other stuff going on. Maybe some not so fun stuff. But all things that I think are relevant to discuss for our episode. Let's go ahead and jump into our normal mode. Normal mode, where we talk about news and all the goodies that come with the news. Speaking of goodies, I'm just kidding. That wasn't a segue. That made sense.
I liked it.
But like
I
I said
goodies.
earlier, we did talk about, or Jerica rather, was on Drop In Drop Out and did a whole reaction to State of Play. But Jerica, was there anything like that stood out to you in regards to State of Play that you kind of wanted to touch on that you thought was like maybe like the biggest thing that you
my hat looks
enjoyed?
weird. I'm yes, there are a lot of things stood out. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm gonna go this way or this way. My hair's doing crazy things. Disregard that. If my hair is coming out and trying to attack the camera, I'm sorry. With talking about State of Play, now I'll get back on that. We were able. I unfortunately was a little late, like joining the live stream of us reacting to it. I mean, I talked about this already, but like I am impressed with the amount of games they showed. One thing I always have to sort of remind myself is just like, it's a State of Play. It's not a PlayStation showcase, y'all. Like, it's not something that we're going to get all these hefty announcements that are going to make us, our rolls entirely moist here, wet, so to speak. Yeah. And that's always hard because with this one in particular, I think we did that even more because it's just been so long since we've heard like good news from PlayStation. Like, and in the last years has been all the games, live service games being canceled. Not saying that's like the worst thing, because I don't want all these live service games personally, but I also don't want anybody losing their jobs over dumb decisions. Right. But I just remember when they were first announcing like all these like very ambitious plans to make all these games, live service games from PlayStation. I was just like, man, that seems like, because I feel like it was like 11. It was some wild number.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. And I was like, I don't know. That doesn't sound like a great idea. And then we're here now and it was not a great idea. Last year, Concord, how much money and time was put into that game, and the game looked amazing, but just was not hitting like it needed to. And last year we got Astrobot at the end of the year, but really, unless it's not coming to mind, but I'm like, what else did we get from PlayStation last year? That might be like the two big things, and I might be forgetting something, so you can chime in and chat. But at first thought, I can't think of anything. So this State of Play just felt a little bit more important because we just haven't got like those big announcements. Now we got Retrograde, the Heretic Prophet. It's a sad thing that the next
Intergalactic.
Thank you, Intergalactic. I want to call it Retrograde. I don't know why. It might be Final Fantasy. That's a Final Fantasy extra game. We got the next big Naughty Dog game announced, and that's really exciting, but that's so far off. Like, it's so far off. And a lot of people just want to know, like, what am I going to be able to play on PlayStation soon? So the State of Play was good. I think just a lot of expectations are high just because we're just so needy for that information.
We're starved.
And it is, I specifically pulled up an article that I'll get to in just a second, but the State of Play, I think the amount of games made it great, but it also hurt it too, because to my point, like thinking really quickly, like what stood out to me, It was Saros or Soros. I'm butchering the name. House
That
Park's
looks
new
cool.
game. Uh, Looks awesome. We know it's gonna be great. Returnal was really dope. Had a good time. It was really hard. I didn't beat it, but I had a great time playing it. So you know the next game's gonna be a banger, but that's not until 2026. And
Yeah.
then the only other game that like stands out in my quick memory that I just wanted to highlight um is the Darwin's Paradox, which is like the cute octopus game. That
Oh
looked
my
real
gosh, it's so cute.
that it
So
graphically
cute.
it looked incredible and it looks like there's some fun gameplay loops there and I'm excited for it. But there were so many games shown off like my memory's already bad. So I'm not gonna be able to go through the list and nothing stood out because there was just so much. But it
Yeah.
was it so much I don't know if all those things were good things because I don't know. It's just a lot of games that we haven't heard of. It's new IP, new things. We don't know if we need to get excited or not.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, was before I get into like this article that sort of summarizes a point that I've been trying to make in a better. I'm not a writer, so this article really does a good job of like summarizing where PlayStation's at and where it might go and where we're at, sort of like in this industry right now. Before I go in, is there anything that stood out to you from the state of play?
I yeah, I feel similarly to you. I did think that the Directive 8020 game, which is from Supermassive, who did Until Dawn and The Quarry, that looked really interesting to me. It's like a sci-fi horror game. Um, and so that immediately intrigued me. A lot of things that I'm most excited for, we really just got like another look at, not necessarily like a new piece of information. Like Split Fiction got another new narrative game or narrative trailer. Obviously, I'm really excited for that. And then to Cognitive Clip's point, there was a game shown called Tides of Annihilation. That looked interesting. Um, Cognitive Clip said that was 10 out of 5 button rolls for me. But yeah, this looks really interesting. It reminds me of like a high school weekly in the chat will know what I'm talking about, but this book that I really like called Children of Time. It reminds me of
Ah,
that.
okay.
Um and the vibes I'm here for the like sci-fi horror, like space horror is something that I'm interested in. So that caught my attention, but that was really it. I didn't get a chance to like watch all of it live. But I did go back and like read some summaries. But I am curious to hear like the thought process behind like just in general, like where PlayStation's going. But there's still a couple things I think in here to be excited about and to look forward to. It's just a different landscape, like you said. Like things are just different now.
And I think this state of play probably could have hit way better if we just weren't in this place with PlayStation. It's like for the first time ever, or at least since like the PlayStation 4 was I feel like a decade or not a whole decade, but a generation that we were just like so lucky to be a part of. And like we
We
got
were
so many
blessed.
banger games so
Yeah.
consistently, like every year you maybe got one or at least two like Sony first party games, like the games that make you say like, I'm so glad I have my PlayStation to play this. And maybe that's where some of the opinions are coming from too, is just like, you know, a lot of games shown here, really cool, really neat. We just want to know I want to hear some, what the next, I just want to know what's going on at PlayStation. I want to know where the next, um, I don't know. I feel like they were really transparent with what games were coming and when. Not really specifics, but like you knew you were getting Death Stranding. You knew where you were getting, I'm butchering the timelines here, like Horizon, God of War, Death Stranding, Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Like it was just really a hype time because like all these big games were coming and it was like one every year you were getting the domino of the next
Yeah.
game. And going back to it, like I think we got really used to that and we're
Yeah.
just at
Maybe
a
we got
place
spoiled on it.
with development now that it just takes so long. And then here it is. I'm gonna go through a couple of points from this article. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. There's a lot there, and I won't spend too much time on it before we get to our main topic. But I really liked how let's see, this is from Eurogamer Chris Tapsel. I don't know if it's Tapsel or Tapsel, but he summarized like in a pretty concise way, like why we could be feeling this way. And the title of the article is Sony beginning to coast? With PlayStation sales up and first party releases down, gaming's eerie normal begins to take shape. So I'm reading the article now. There's a fairly obvious explanation for this oddness. Keep in mind, a lot of the games Sony's had in the pipeline for the PS5 have reportedly been canceled. So we talked a little bit about this earlier. Been the developer of Siphon Filter, Days Gone, and meaty handheld exclusives like Uncharted Golden Abyss had the pug pulled on an open world game with multiplayer elements. So they were working on that project. And at the same time, Bluepoint, the team behind a streak of excellent remasters, including Shadow of the Colossus and Demon Souls, had a live service God of War game canceled. This on top of already canceled co-op games from Insomniac, the now shuttered London studio, canceled multiplayer, Last of Us spinoff, all that.
Sad.
There's so many games, like so many games that have been canceled. And I'm going to continue because I want to add to this other point because this is very interesting. So it talks about Xbox and he talks about just sales of PS5, like the console itself. These projects were a result of a pivot to live service under former executive Jim Ryan. Their subsequent cancellations as a result of a pivot apparently back away from live services before they could even make it out the door. So that's one thing that's sort of left a hole in games coming out. I think obviously with those projects, there was just a lot of, that's where all the labor was going into, is working on these projects. That's why we're in sort of a dry spell from what I sort of pulling from this. Yeah. And another factor just mentioning is Xbox. There's an increased likelihood that there will be more Xbox Game Studio published games launching on PS5 this year. There will be more of those than actual PlayStation games, like Sony games, thinking about that. Despite its best slate of first-party games in a decade for Xbox. So by shifting to this open multi-platform publishing, also just Nintendo being off on its wonderful world, doing its own things, means PlayStation is currently operating in one free of any true direct competition. Not at all. And yes, it's the blockbuster void that we felt due to this pivot, all the live service games getting canceled. But to the wider point, like why this shouldn't be ignored also. Companies tend to make more unforced errors when they can get away with it. So,
very true.
I'm not there. I don't know like exactly what they're trying to do. Like I know the benefit of a live service game is that you have a gamer like me always playing this said game and putting money into it constantly. So I know like the basic reason why all these games need to get made. But now, like, I just wonder if PlayStation is gonna lock down on, hey, maybe that hopefully after all of this, they're not gonna continue down that path anymore. But I don't know. Like, I only have room in my life for Destiny 2, and that's barely cutting it. So that's why I just sort of, when I heard like PlayStation was going to have 7 or 11 live service games, I was just like, that's so dumb. That seems so dumb to me. And I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. And that seems dumb to me. So, but also in this article, it states before I wrap up, like, you would think, oh, that it doesn't sound like PlayStation's like super successful right now. But the twist is PlayStation just had its best financial quarter of console sales and is tracking almost exactly in line with shipped units of PS4. Monthly active users as well, the amount of people playing on console are up considerably. 129 million to 90 million on the equivalent period of the previous console. The player spend is through the roof, driven by engagement, farming, live service games, those again. Call of Duty, Fortnite, and the rest of those also consolidating their position as acceptable time wallet siphons. So, but also in the same vein, like Xbox consoles sales have tanked. while
Mm.
Game Pass hits a record.
Yeah.
So,
It's very interesting.
to my point, like I've sort of, hinted at this. I feel like for the first time ever, this is starting to happen. Like Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation they're not really competing with each other as much anymore because they're just sort of in their own kind of way of making money, I guess. And I
Yeah.
don't
We talked
still,
about that.
and it's still not.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I'm sorry. I'll stop now. I'm off my
No.
rambling bit. I'm done.
No, I agree. Like I think that you hit the nail on the head with especially like the comparisons between the two.
Well, this article
Um,
does, and it sort of helped me think through this, like what could be happening, and you know, also just games just take a long time to make, especially the PlayStation ones. So
yeah. To Simba's point, the one thing I am disappointed in with Simba in the chat is Simba said I would have given up everything for a new Last of Us multiplayer.
and I don't know. I don't know why that the choice was to do so many of these games when
Yeah.
maybe they could have had some other studio like
success.
helping to make that, which I know Bungie was helping them, and ultimately rumors were, I don't even know if this was legit, that Bungie was like, this ain't gonna work. And that's sort of when they pulled back the reins on it. Because
Yeah.
Bungie was helping Naughty Dog like develop that game. That's one of the reasons they acquired Bungie, or PlayStation did. So like
Yeah.
of all these to be something that makes it through, I would have loved that too. But I'm also very
Yes.
relieved they get to work on the next big thing instead. So
Also true. Also true. Which I mean does bring us to some some better news, depending on who you ask, of what all is planned. Because like Jarek and I said, there's a lot that came out just in February. Obviously we're not going to be able to run through all of these, but just to kind of touch on some of what has arrived and what to expect. And Jarek, I would love to know um what you plan on picking up or what you plan on spending time in. Or maybe if you have already. The first being, this is our expert mode, by the way. We're gonna touch on a couple things. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I know you mentioned like taking a gander at that. What do you think about this game?
I still don't have enough of opinion to say, am I going to get to it? So I have officially knocked it off my interest.
Yeah. No longer on the list.
No longer on my list.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Oh, really quick. Mr. Hawk said, it really does feel like an exec saw how much money Destiny, Fortnite, etc. pull in and just assumed more of that means more money.
That's exactly what happened. You summarized it also better than I could have, but that's definitely part of it.
Yeah. It's the unfortunate
one last
part
thing I'll say before we go in. I keep wanting to go back to it.
No,
I'm so passionate about this topic. It's just,
you should be.
It's just like, this could be it, Kayla. This like, and I'm trying to be, after reading that and just thinking through it, like this, it just sucks. It all sucks. I don't want it to be the situation that's how Sony operates now. We get one game every, I don't know, 3 or 4 years that we've been really looking forward to. Or do they have a slate of games that, now is the next thing, like leading into PlayStation 6? Like, is the last 2 years of the PS5 going to be what we loved and missed about the PS4 times? Like, I don't know. Or is it going to be like this forever? Because they're hitting sales, they're hitting their goals with some of this stuff. So I don't know.
That is really interesting.
They're hitting goals like with it. You were all upset because we're not playing games, but they're selling consoles. They're selling consoles.
Yeah. Maybe do you wonder? I wonder if it has something to do with the like fierce issue with supply and demand that happened when the PS5 first launched. Do you feel like no?
No.
I
was thinking, right? Yeah, I wasn't saying no. But yeah, like it was that. Maybe that's part of it. I've sort of forgot.
Maybe
it's been it wasn't that long ago, but they were like for the first 2 years, like it was really hard, or at least a year and a half, at least really hard to get a PS5.
Yeah,
maybe that has something to do with it, or like just the fact that Grand Theft Auto. Sorry, I am now officially rambling, and just the fact that Grand Theft Auto could come out this year. And I wasn't being silly. Like, watch no game come out around that time frame. Like,
Yeah.
this is gonna be the game of the decade. Could be. Like, if it's anything based on what the last one has been for the last 10 plus years now, this one game. Like, if I was a game, if I was a developer, I would not want my game anywhere near that one.
That's a really good point.
PlayStation don't need to have a big game this year. They just want you to play Grand Theft Auto is going to be the best played probably on the PS5 Pro.
Yeah. That's a really interesting point, Jerica.
I wonder how many teraflops this game's going to need to run or need to run well, and that's how they push consoles. Like, that's all they need is that game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here I go I started going down another rabbit hole, but that could be it too.
That could be. And I did look it up, and I fear that the PlayStation came out 5 years ago. PlayStation 5. That's insane.
No.
Yes, 2025. 5 years ago.
We're halfway through it. This whole console generation just needs a Grand Theft Auto. No other game needs to come out, I guess, It's wild. It's wild.
The Simba in the chat did have a good point. Shout out to Helldivers 2 for not trying too much and making it work.
Absolutely.
We need more smaller scope stuff like that. 100%. Could agree more. But they're waiting to decide when to release Ghost of Yotei based on when GTA might drop. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely could see that.
Any game that comes out around it's going to that's the one game I think just will take everyone's eyes off of. It's going to pull everyone away.
Yeah. And I think that, I don't know. I'm still not fully convinced that it comes out this year. I know I'm not either. Some of our Dido cohorts, aka GWT Mori, does think it's coming out this year, and he did make a bet against that, but I don't think so. I know you said you believed it to be next summer.
Yeah, next summer.
But it is, when you look at the list that we have, it is interesting because it does look like there is a lot, but like you said, not a lot of it is from PlayStation, like first party, like, I don't know.
I mean, all we got is Ghost of Yotei. Like, that is all.
That's it.
Yeah. There might be something smaller scale that I'm missing, but like big, I can play this only on my PlayStation. It's the only thing that we know that's coming in Death Stranding 2, which I'm really excited for and I can't wait, but that's not a game for everybody. Yeah. Okay. I'm off of it now. Thanks for listening. Let's talk about February games now.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. But it all wraps up together in the same. We're talking about releasing of games ultimately. So Cognitive Clips did say we're having some discourse in the chat about when GTA 5 is coming out, or not GTA 5, GTA 6. High Score Weekly, good point, did say that they don't think it's this year because the marketing would already be on it. But I would like to argue the point that I don't know that they need to market.
They don't need to market. This game can come out anytime and do wonderfully. I mean, I wouldn't drop it, like shadow drop it, but like they don't even have to give you another trailer.
No,
sell
they don't.
The shit out of this game.
Yeah. But as far as like what's to come, like me and Jericho were talking about earlier, the Lost of Records Bloom and Rage does come out tomorrow. I will expand on this more when we have like some time under our belt with it. But this is the first time I'm going to be playing Life is Strange episodically. So like as they're releasing. So I'm intrigued by how that's going to go. I know I'm probably going to be like on the edge, like, oh no, the cliffhanger. Because it is coming out.
And it's always separately. Fun. Yeah. I sort of like when it's separate like that. Because you get just like watching a good show, like you get to, like me and you get to talk about and theorize what could happen next. But the problem is you don't want it to be too, like, I'm glad it's the next month because I don't want to forget about what was on the last episode, So it's like,
right.
So I think it'll work out for it that it's the second part is next month. So that way I feel like, and High Score Weekly could probably help because we played Life is Strange 2. episodically, like as they came out. I think he did too, and there was a little bit of. I feel like it took a little bit of time for a couple of those episodes, and that story wise, like the narrative, like that can hurt it because you're
Yeah.
not in the moment anymore. So
Yeah. Because it is a very emotional experience,
yeah,
typically.
but I think just 1 month separated, I think that'll be fine and a good thing for it because I think people get to do what we're talking about, like speculate and build up hype and see what's going to happen next.
Yeah. And then we did have, like I mentioned, we had Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I know a lot of people were big on. It scored really well. I will not touch that game because it is apparently a very large game. So I will not be getting to that. But some other things, like I mentioned earlier, Civ 7 is one that I've played and I will continue to play. It doesn't necessarily have an end necessarily, so I'm not going to be like reviewing it for you per se, but I did give my first impressions earlier on if you missed that. And a game that I am interested in that comes out, or it just came out. Did you see Date Everything? Did you see that game?
I've seen the trailer for it. Me and or Audrey showed that game to me, and I was like, that's unique. And that's probably going to be a fun experience. I never thought about dating a refrigerator and it being humanized,
Yeah, it's like
I could pull
Sam.
up,
Actually, no,
I'll pull up
it
the
didn't
trailer.
come out yet. It got delayed. I just
No. What did it get
till
delayed to?
June, so not far.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah,
Huh.
not far.
Well, dang. I won't pull it up now.
Something to look forward to.
If you haven't checked out the trailer for that, do it right now. It's entertaining.
It's cute. It's a indie game by Sassy Chap Games.
Perfect name for the developer.
Chap.
It really matches the theme of the trailer for sure.
Jerica, will you be playing Monster Hunter Wilds when
yes,
it releases
I will.
on
yes, I am.
February 28th?
Mm-hmm. I want to play that. I hopefully can join up on somebody because that's the game I'd want to play with somebody else that's maybe knows their way around the wilds, the worlds with the monsters. Because I didn't play enough of what is that, Monster Hunter World or Worlds? I don't know if it's plural or not, but I was always jealous of people were getting into it. It looks like they were having fun, but it's just, that's just one of those games that seems like you have a better time playing with multiple people. So I'm hoping I can get on this one while the hype is real and get into some groups. And, I played the beta or the demo that was out. I know there was something out this past weekend, but they had one before
early
that.
Access,
they had an earlier access sometime, like maybe a month ago. And I hopped in just to play to see what it felt like. And that shit was fun. Like the world's awesome.
Okay.
I like the characters. Like obviously if you're an anime girly, you'll love the environment and the characters. It's it's an anime ass game also. So
okay. Yeah, I've never played a Monster Hunter game. I did watch some of our drop in drop out friends have been playing. Patrick and Jake were playing. It looked interesting. So that comes out February 28th. I think that's really like there's a list of some other things. I think those are the ones that stand out the most to me as far as like what's left for February, which is still a lot comparatively to everything else that we've already gotten in February. Avowed, like we talked about, technically comes out tomorrow. As far as like the full edition. So Jarek and I'm sure we'll have more thoughts as time goes on.
I paid money to get ahead of the curb so I could play it. Is it the curb or curve? Just
the curve, I think.
I say the curb, like you're driving the car and you're hitting the curb. I'm trying to get ahead of it so I don't hit it. That's why I say that incorrectly every time.
Mr. Hawks invited you. He said we've got a group of kind of funny best friends that are teaming up when it drops. You're obviously both invited.
I would love to. Please, like as long as you're cool with having this derp alongside you, I can say I love to hunt monsters. So I'll be a hunting with you. I don't know how to hunt them, but I love to do it. Just point me in the direction of the monsters and I'll go after them.
Apparently you can fight with a saxophone as your weapon. Just as apparently that's an option.
See,
yeah, Patrick.
That's why it's a great time. I'm excited.
Yeah. But speaking of March releases, we do have some stuff on the horizon. We've got Split Fiction. I'm so excited, Jerica, for Split Fiction. March
Yes.
6th coming out. We then have the Lost Records Bloom and Rage Tape 2. Or did that get delayed? Is that the updated date, March 18th, or is it April?
It's April now.
It's April now.
Yeah.
Ignore that.
I
Ignore
think it's
me.
April,
This
yeah.
is old. And then we have, what else do we
Which is
have
now
going on?
2 months. I
Assassin's
did
Creed.
my math wrong in my head. We were talking about that earlier. So that, I hope that don't hurt it too much. It'd have been different. It was like the month later. Like I think I was still going off of this, but I'm pretty sure I read April.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
See. No, it's okay. That
sucks.
We'll fact check that. Then we also have Split Fiction. We have the next Lost Records, and then we have Assassin's Creed Shadows in March. Will you be playing that, Jerica? What do you think?
Oh yeah, of course. I will probably play it as long as I get through Lost Records. I think that's gonna be something I want to finish first. And I don't know I don't know what's gonna happen with this game. I hope it's great.
Yeah.
I sort of
low expectations.
I've played every other Assassin's Creed game other than like some of the one-offs. Like I played the last like big ones like Odyssey.
Yeah.
Vikings. Can't remember. Valhalla. And I love those so much. I had a great time with them. It's perfect open world game for me. So like just knowing that these characters, like it's based in Japan, and you know, I think of Ghost of Tsushima, like if that could be in an Assassin's Creed game, I'm down. But it's just development hell, it seems, for them, and then Ubisoft's just doing the dumbest stuff. So who knows?
Yeah.
I hope to play it, and I hope it's good.
I'm gonna try it. I'm not a diehard Assassin's Creed follower. I think the last one I played was Odyssey, I believe, which I did enjoy a lot.
That's out of the last ones, that's probably been out of the last like 4 years, that's probably been my favorite one.
Yeah. Cassandra. I liked Black Flag too. I did play
I've never played that one, and I hear nothing but great things.
It's fun. It's a fun time. I don't think I beat it, but I did play it. So I'm gonna give it a try, especially like Hunter, my husband, is a big fan, so he will probably be getting anyway. But yeah, so that's kind of like, we'll see. I'm interested. But April has a couple things lined up too. We have South of Midnight, which I know we're both very intrigued by, coming out April 8th. And then we have Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, coming out April 24th. That looks interesting to me.
Me and you might need to pick who's going to do which one. And it obviously, I think you're going to do South of Midnight. Let me do Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. Let's be honest with each other. This is also, maybe you're a part of a JK Games meeting right now. We're trying to figure out what games we're actually going to play. I know for a fact I will not do South of Midnight and then go right into that. Expedition 33. Let's say this. Are you down to be the one to South of Midnight it up?
I am. Are you sure that you don't want to also, you might get on the hype, Jerica?
I might do first impressions, but I do want to make sure like one of us is playing one of these games. And I know if I get in, I'm just a slow gamer. Takes me a minute to get through.
Me too, Jerica,
And it's, it's not really that we're slow. I think we're just running out of time to do everything.
I think we're average.
We're average. We're average. I was trying to make a joke. It's just, it's not coming to me tonight. I'll do Expedition 33 though. That would be my like deep dive game for April.
Yeah.
Days Gone Remastered though sort of tickles my fancy. I don't know. Did you ever play it?
I'm a little tickled.
You're a little tickled?
I'm a little tickled.
Okay.
I did play Days Gone. I don't know I don't know if I'm in the mood for that. I might be in April. We'll see.
I mean, I
feel like you have to be a certain like energy. I don't know.
Listen, we're gonna be playing The Last of Us, or we're gonna be watching The Last of Us. You're probably might be in a zombie mood, but also it might just make you want to play The Last of Us. One of my friends, I have that cool gal in my life, Haley. She plays the heck out of a lot of open world games. Red Dead Redemption, constantly on there. One game that she was constantly on also is Days Gone. And she texted me immediately after the state of play. And she's like, hoping this gives us a better chance for a part 2. Talking about the remaster. I cannot imagine a permadeath mode. This game was hard as it is. I was like, I'm finally going to finish this game because I also played and I had I had much better time than I thought I was going to with Days Gone. It's fun.
It's fun.
She said it ends on a cliffhanger. You can do it. She told me I can't beat it.
Ah.
So,
amazing. Supportive friends.
Days Gone remastered. Chat, did y'all want that? Did y'all want that, chat?
It seems like they do because they already are chatting in here. High Score Weekly said, I'm glad Days Gone is getting a second chance. I feel like the dev team got kind of snubbed. And then P-Schwag also said Days Gone rules. So we got some supporters.
Listen, I think that would be fun to stream. I heard one person say they weren't a supporter of this game. So it is a bummer. I'm glad it's getting maybe a second chance to get in the limelight because I can't remember what it came out around. So I'm sure something else came out that stole the limelight.
Probably so. Who knows?
April
something,
or that's not so sure. Someone in the chat might know.
That's the risk that you run. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah,
man. Throw Grand Theft Auto in the mix and my year's screwed. You know, if that actually comes out.
Yeah.
So many games.
Who knows?
Anything. I don't know if I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off. No, it's really because I'm not looking at your face right now, so I can't predict I have my notes on top of your face, and I'm so sorry. I'm going to move that so I can see you and not talk over you. I normally don't have it like that. Go ahead.
No, I don't even know, Jerica.
Sorry.
I was just gonna revel with you around the fact that like we've got games lined up. We've got plans.
Listen, there's so many, and I'm just curious, like if anyone else has something on a list that we didn't make for the next 2 months that maybe we're not playing. I'd be curious to hear. And then, just trying to figure out a time to beat Avowed too. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. And also let us know if there's any of these games that we've mentioned that we plan on playing that you would like to see us stream. I know I would like to get into streaming some things a little bit more. I know Drop and Drop Out is a place where we're going to stream some things for sure. Hello, Dano Mac in the chat. We're about to be gone, but thanks for joining.
Nice. Welcome.
Go back and rewatch. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I'm definitely intrigued for the months that we have lined up. I am not going to beat Avowed. I just know in my heart anytime soon.
Yeah.
I like to be optimistic, but I want to not get spoiled on.
Do y'all hear my dog?
On Bloom and Rage.
Sorry. I just want to know if I want to capture this moment.
I heard him.
You heard him? Dang.
Yeah.
It's my dog. He likes to get in. He gets like, it's not the zoomies. I don't know what it's called, the rollies. And he just like rolls on his back. And he's like, and it's just sporadic. And if y'all heard that, it's the dog. It's Otto.
High School Weekly said he sounded human.
It's wild.
If you wanted, Simba said if you want, it would be awesome to see y'all play Split Fiction.
Okay.
That would be fun.
Let's make sure that happens. There's 2 big things that we're wanting to do. Definitely like stream. I'm like pressuring Kayla to play Mass Effect.
I'm down. Okay.
And there's going to be an extra layer to when we play that no one's going to expect, and I cannot wait to unveil that. But I feel like Kayla, what were you trying to jump in on? Some other stream playing something with somebody. We were in our meeting, and I was like, no, she has to play Mass Effect. And I felt sort of like that was a little aggressive on my part. You can play whatever you want to play.
My co-host with the most. And I've been saying I would do this for years, Jerica. It's time to mentor.
We have a good idea. I have a little bit of a way to make it entertaining. Spoiler, I won't be myself helping Kayla play this. It will be someone else. They'll look like me, but it will be somebody else here in this seat helping Kayla play through and make the right choices in Mass Effect. Stay tuned to that. But yeah, we should definitely do Split Fiction stream.
That would be fun too.
We can commit to that also. So those are the 2 things that we're cooking up. Just don't know. Well, Split Fiction will be right when it comes out. I love this. Mass Effect mentor. That is me. High Score Weekly. Shout out to him. He's the one that got me to give Mass Effect a second try, and it became my favorite game of all time. So
Yeah, that's such a good story. I love
yeah.
that so much. Well, we got lots of fun plans and clicker bait. We have that on the horizon.
God.
April.
That'll work out in April. This is basically a JK Games meeting. You're a part of it. Thank you. We haven't done this in a long time. But we should definitely do, April Last of Us. We'll have Clicker Bay. We won't have as many JK Games episodes. So maybe that's when we try to do this Mass Effect stream.
Yeah.
In between
Hopefully we'll be
watching The
done with
Last
some
of Us.
games.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Stay tuned. But you know what we should do? We should pay it forward and we should raid someone else's channel with everyone here. That's something that we can end our podcast on and go say hey to some folks. I can set that up for us. But thank you guys all for watching.
This was a ramble-fied episode.